What is going on, guys? It's your boy Junior and welcome back to episode number 1 of the online career mode. Yes, I'm saying welcome back for a reason. Basically, after watching it back, after feedback from certain people, I realised that the way that I portrayed it and the way that I intended it to come across, it didn't at all. It went down quite well, some decent likes on there, decent amount of views, but it kind of takes the emphasis away from it being a career mode when literally every game I'm swapping. So basically what I'm doing this time around, I'm going to stick with one team. That team first off being Manchester United. Basically if I keep on winning, I'll stay Manchester United, everything's sorted. If I lose, I'll be the team that I lose against. Like in the previous episode, I will be doing 3 games per episode. If that's too short or too long, let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to add a game on or take a game off. Personally, I think 3 is around okay. It's not too long and it's not too short. Like I said previously, I will be using this series and these episodes as an opportunity and a chance to talk about the things that I want to, obviously football related. So today's episode itself is going to be based around why I'm a United fan, how it come about that I become interested in football, and where it comes to today. Obviously, I don't want to be too vague in terms of one topic. So the problem at United at the moment, if you will, that will be a completely different episode. Maybe sometime in the future, if anyone's willing to come on the show, if you want to call it that, I'll bring someone on, have a debate, if you will. Obviously, sometimes it's a bit boring just listening to me talk over and over and over again. I'm happy to do so. If you know anyone that wants to jump on, or you yourself want to jump on, just shout me. I'm always interested in collaborating and getting involved with different people and different things. From since I can remember, I've always been a United fan. Looking back through baby photos and photos when I was younger, I was always seen in me United pyjamas and me shirts and whatnot, and it's kind of that time that I can't really remember, but I get gists of what I'm being told. The whole United, the whole football thing comes from my mum. She was a United fan since she can remember. I think she got it from her brother, if I'm right. The whole Munich air crash kind of thing kind of brought her to it, the way that the team got built back up and how well that they did with, in as many words, loaned players. And that's kind of graduated from me, and I've been taught that along the way, and that's kind of where it all started. Now, in terms of my first Manchester United memory, wasn't probably what people think it was. It was a soccer school that they held in Bath. There's a school on the other side of the river from me. Manchester United somehow got a school. It was like a trial almost, that they had all the kids from the surrounding areas come to the school, do trials. If you impressed, I think you went through to the next stages. I'm not 100% sure. I did absolutely terribly. I was quite a fat kid. I don't even think I started it, but my brother went on. He did quite well. And that was the first big memory that I can remember of anything to do with Manchester United. Obviously, there was games before, but I was too young to even remember. And for some reason, as a rule, football itself, not just Manchester United, football itself has always interested me. Like rugby, never a thing. Tennis, never a thing. Football's always been my game. Always wanted to play it. Always wanted to be involved somehow. Now, which leads me on to my next, if you want to call it, memory of Manchester United. Can't remember the year. I'm not going to even try to look through it because it was yonkers ago. Never been to a Manchester United game before. Never been to Old Trafford. Out of nowhere, my uncle pops up saying, basically, I have tickets. Me and my friend and his son's going. Do you and your brother want to go? So I'm there like, wait, what? This was like Christmas, mid-year. Oh my god, what's happening? So we got up, small little Peugeot, I think it was either 106 or 206, the small little boxy cars. Me and my brother and some other kid in the back, absolutely squished in, went up. The experience was one that I will never forget. Obviously, I was quite young, taken out to Old Trafford. I remember we won 1-0. Ronaldo chipped the goalie. I think it was against Fulham, if I remember rightly. Half time, this is what stands out the most, which is probably a bad thing. Half time, I was desperate need for a pee. So I was like, right, I'm here, I'm in Old Trafford, I'm showing off, I'm going to go for a pee on my own. I disappeared, come back up, and for those of you who have been to a football game, I completely lost my seat. Obviously, I'm looking for my uncle, my brother, and his mate in a sea of red. I sat and cried on the stairs for about 10 minutes until my uncle come over and was like, yeah, we're literally just over here. But yeah, that first memory, it was insane. And then from that, I think it led on to me watching more and more football, playing a bit more football, getting a bit older. You appreciate and experience the game a bit more than usual. Which leads me on to my third major memory, if you will. Obviously, I'm cutting out all the games that I watch on TV and all that lot because I'll be here for hours. But third memory, big memory, it was me, my mum, my brother, and one of my mum's mates went up to Old Trafford. Bearing in mind, I don't know if you were United fans or football fans in the Premier League, it's bloody hard to come by tickets. It's not very often that you're able to get tickets for, say, 4 or 5 people. Most that I've been able to myself look and get is probably 2, and you're in the middle of nowhere, you can't even see the pitch. But yeah, drove up on the day. It was Blackburn at home. Obviously every game that I've seen so far is at home. Blackburn 7-1. I have never seen anything like that in my life. Dimidar Berbatov, for those of you who can remember him, scored 5. The atmosphere was out of this bloody world. Now, which leads me on to my fourth and my big final Manchester United memory, if you will, which is a recent thing, when I went out to watch Fenerbahce at home again. Obviously the return of Van Persie to Old Trafford. That in itself, I don't think the atmosphere will change. I don't think it will be topped unless I see something like a derby or like a big game. I don't think that would be topped in my opinion. From start to finish, the Fenerbahce fans, I've never heard a bunch of fans so bloody loud in my life. Obviously, it made the experience what it is, and it made the game what it was. Obviously, they were shouting start to finish, no hesitation. Obviously, we banged in 4, they scored 1. Us scoring, obviously, it was what it was, but when Van Persie scored at the end, the whole of Old Trafford erupted. It went off. I've never stood up in terms of someone scoring against us. I've never stood up and applauded. Obviously, Van Persie won us. It wasn't just him, but he pretty much won us the title. We brought him from Arsenal, come and pretty much won the title. Now, being a United fan, you get a lot of stick and you get a lot of stigma for being, oh, you're a glory supporter. Believe me, the years that I've been United fan, it hasn't been plain sailing. Obviously, Fergie going, and then Moyes, and then Van Gaal, and now we're with Jose Mourinho. But this will lead on to another video. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope this has been something a bit different. I haven't really seen any of this on YouTube. Hope that you like this sort of thing. Any ideas you want me to speak about, anything in particular, shout me in the comments. I'm always open to talk, what you want here, etc, etc. Until next time, guys, have yourself a beautiful day. I am gone. Peace.